A major theme of the governor's call for this special session, reining in regulations in the city of Austin. Several lawmakers from Austin are fighting those plans, but one is in full support. Robert Hadlock sat down with Representative Paul Workman, a Republican who represents Southwest Austin and Travis County.
Governor Abbott has set his sights on cutting back restrictions on Austin's tree ordinance, and he asked you to help out. Tell us about your meeting with the governor and why this is so important to him and to you.
Well, we've been working on tree regulations for some time, and we just believe that a person should have the right on their own property to do with as they wish, and if they believe that a tree needs to come down, they should have the right to do that. And so this is something that we've been working on for a couple of sessions.
So you see it as a property rights issue?
It's a pure property rights issue. I mean, when you buy that property, you buy that tree with it, and it belongs to you.
What about the Democrats' objections to it, that trees are beneficial to the community?
Well, I mean, trees are beneficial to the community, but that doesn't mean that they own them. It may mean that, that we want to encourage people not to cut them down. And the reality is, I can't find anybody who doesn't like trees. Everybody wants to keep their trees. So this is not about going out and cutting down a bunch of live oak trees. This is about just having the right to do it if you believe it needs to be done.
You've spoken before about your list of 4 conditions or reasons when the state should step in to overrule a local ordinance. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, we do believe that there are several reasons that you know, the state might need to step in and have stepped in over the years. I mean, this is not some new thing, but you know, when an ordinance in one city affects citizens of another city, then you know, it may be time for the state to do something.
You were very vocal about the ride-hailing situation here in Austin, where the Austin voters approved the fingerprint background checks for the drivers. When is it okay to override the decision of the voters of Austin?
Well, I think in this case we had a situation where we have varying ordinances from around the state, and so they needed to be unified, just like the texting and texting ban needs to be the same all over the state.
The bathroom bill, of course, is back up in the special session, which starts this week. We just heard from State Representative Donna Howard. She told us it's not a priority for her or her constituents, and in fact, employers like Apple and IBM have asked her to fight against it. You support the bill. Why is that?
Well, you know, for me, it's about schools. It's about the 13-year-old, 14-year-old who thinks they're an opposite gender than what they were born, being able to go into the opposite showers or restrooms, and that's where it becomes important to me. But I'm really focused on the bills that we've got, that we think annexation is an important bill that we think will get through the House and hopefully the Senate this time, and then our tree bill, and then we've got one on expedited permitting that we're also going to be trying to get done. So, you know, those are the ones that we're really focusing on.
Are you concerned at all that if the bathroom bill passes, big corporations will start pulling events out of Texas? You
know, I suppose there's a chance that some of them might do that. I think that's a little overblown. Personally, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal.
Big 30 days coming up this week with the start of the session. What do you expect to happen? Well,
I think we'll pass the sunset bill straight away, pretty quickly, send it to the Senate. The Senate probably do the same. So I think the sunset bill will go through fairly quickly. I think Tuesday we'll gavel in, and we may then recess for a few days because there have been a number of bills filed. All of those bills have to be referred. Committee hearings have to be set, and they have to have the hearings, and then they're voted out and then back. I mean, it's the normal process on all these bills. So it's going to take a little time for us to do that. The Senate can act quicker because they don't have as many bills and there's not as many of them. And so they'll act and we'll act, and it'll take the House probably a little bit longer. So whether we'll be back on Wednesday or whether it'll be a few days after that, I don't know. But I think that I think we'll get busy right away and get started. But it's going to, the speakers have got to refer all those bills, and then there have to be public notices on the hearings and all of that. So it'll take a little time.
What's the #1 issue your constituents are approaching you about?
Annexation. Without question, annexation is is the one. We have a number of communities in our area which are very concerned about forced annexation, and they really want something done about that.
State Representative Paul Workman, thank you so much for coming in.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having us.
Just ahead, new insight from Capitol journalist on our roundtable. We're 6 days into the 30-day special session. It's not a lot of time for lawmakers to tackle 20 different items that they could not pass in the 140-day regular session. Will there be compromise? That's coming up.